right, and welcome. Today we have a special episode. Look who we got here in the corner. How you doing, man?
What's up?
You guys know who it is? It's the number one name in Raid Shadow Legends besides Kyr Mobile, Chosen Brad.
I don't know about that, but hey, thank you.
Right there, the one, the only. How you doing today, man? How's life treating you? Let's get that out of the way first. How you been?
Life's good. 2020's off to a good start. We're chilling. So no complaints here. How you doing?
Been doing pretty good. I had my first YouTube live stream of the year. I haven't done those very commonly. You haven't done.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know. Like, we haven't really been much of a YouTube live streamers, but I figure I'd say hi to the people. Have you done one recently?
I have not done a YouTube stream for 6 months. I want to say it was July ever since I found out it was bad for your channel because of the percent viewed or whatever.
Right.
I've been trying out Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch has been pretty good for both of us, though, I'd say.
Yeah, I like it. Twitch is more of a hangout, and YouTube streaming feels like more of a production. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's exactly nailed it. But today, speaking of productions, we have probably a pretty good video for today. One that's normally highly sought after, which is the ones which characters are good. You know, Brad's done these, I've done these, Stu's done these. Literally everybody's done these videos, right? So, but today is one that we haven't done recently, which is which rares in 2020 are worth keeping. So I brought Brad on today because he's got a wide extent of knowledge for the rares, as you've done many guides on them. And I'm going to have him help fill out the gaps of my knowledge. So we're going to start here with the Bannerlords, and we're going to kind of pick through. We're not going to go over all the rares. This isn't going to be a 45-minute video, but we're just going to kind of highlight the ones that we think are better out of the rares, and we're going to do the non-voids. These are easy to acquire rares, so if you're a brand new player, you probably have at least one of the ones we're going to go over. So the one and only rare that we came to the conclusion on that is any good out of the Bannerlords is Valerie. And would you like to run this by why that is, Brad?
Yeah, Valerie's a decent one just because she's kind of your introduction to ally buff extending. It's a really cool ability for a cheap character to have in terms of increasing the duration of all buffs on all allies. If you can have her go last in your rotation so she doesn't have a lot of speed requirements, have her go last, increase the duration of your buffs. It's kind of a cool introduction for players to get used to that mechanic.
Okay, good answer. And then the shield buff on all allies. Does this actually do a very large one? Because what I've seen is the shield buff on all allies. Some people are okay, some are pretty bad. But this value of the shield depends on the champion's level. I don't know if I've ever seen another character that has damage or shield or anything based on the level.
There's at least one more, I think. I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's another obscure one. But the shield from what I remember is pretty meh. It's not. She's a rare, so obviously it's not going to be some god tier, Valkyrie shield. But it's for providing shield, which is very good for dungeons, and buff extending, which is very good. Earlier in the game, your fights take longer, so extending buffs actually means more. You're not speed farming dungeons in 26 seconds. So in terms of an early to mid game champion to kind of focus on, that's probably the best one out of the Bannerlords. All
right, and that leaves us to moving on to the High Elves, which we probably got a couple more decent ones in here. Now, the first one is obviously Apothecary. Everyone knows this as a 3-hit on basics, so you can proc Giant Slayer and things like the Clan Boss, Dragon, etc. Has a heal that can crit and actually heals for a pretty large amount. And then you have a speed buff as well as a turn meter fill on a 3-turn cooldown. Anything you want to add about this guy?
He's one of the best rares in the game to possibly the best rare for a new player to summon on their account. And yeah, like you said, the elves are amazing in terms of rares. Both the high elves and the dark elves, maintain most of the good rares in the game for some reason.
What would be the next rare after Apothecary in the high elves that you would rarely recommend?
Probably Reliquary Tender, but she's a void, so she's a little bit tougher to get.
True.
But always good to get a support, that especially one that's void and can revive, so she'll never be weak. But if you were talking about non-void, then probably Elaine would be the next high elf with the two
one of the Pokemon
AoE abilities.
The Squirtle of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she's an overall pretty good character. Okay, so we have Elaine and Apothecary in the High Elves. Anyone else kind of honorable mention, or besides you said the Void one?
Hyrea's got that cool
Charging
ability.
move, yeah.
Yep, and then she's also got the poison for the clan boss. She's got a base speed of 101 and can be usable against the clan boss and the Fire Knight, but yeah, nothing like super amazing or anything.
All right, so that's High Elves down. On to the Sacred Order then. Okay, so moving on to Sacred Order, there are 3 in particular, and then like kind of an honorable mention here. And the first one would be Aetho. Now, Aetho is fantastic because if you look at the basic hit, it's a 3-hit, and also you have a chance of applying Weaken, which goes up to 100% chance when she's booked, and you're probably going to book her if you started with her. Then she has an AoE that is nice because you just have an extra chance of critting, basically, and then you have the standard, like, buff this character, get an extra turn type of move. And so she's just all around solid. What would you think? Number 1 or number 2 for Star? Used to be number 1, probably now number 2 in general consensus.
She is definitely not number 1. Kale is for sure the best starter now. She probably was the best starter back when Weaken affected your damage over time debuffs, sure. But ever since that changed, she's still very good for a rare, but she's nowhere near Kale in terms of like a starting champion.
Sure. Okay, so that covers Aetho then. So then moving on to the next one we have here is War Priest on the list. And War Priest is a character. Now, you were saying you start with this character.
Yeah, if I remember right, it's been obviously a really long time. I think War Priest is one of the champions that they give you on your first day. I think it's when you beat the first stage of the campaign, like when you beat the first campaign boss on level 7. I think your reward is a bunch of offense artifacts and War Priest, if I remember right. I could be wrong.
I think you are actually right, because every time I've played through it on like a new account or watched somebody play through a new account, they always got this character. Like, it seems 100%.
Yep, she's your introduction to, healing in the game, basically. They want to get that out of the way right away, introduce you to freeze and heals and, buffing the attack of your starting champion. So it definitely makes sense that they give her at the start to kind of, give you as a base level support. So she's a pretty solid rare.
And that will move us on to kind of speaking of like support type of rares, which would be Mother Superior here. Mother Superior was one of the newer rares they added. They did a pack where you could buy it with like a flat price. What was it, like $15, I think? And it came with like her and like a couple rare items and some basic silver and whatnot.
Yeah, she's one of the newer ones. She's only been around for like 3 months.
Yeah, exactly. So she's new. She's got a heal, and then she's got the decreased attack, which is kind of nice, but it's only the 25% variant. She seems to have like the weaker version of everything, like a heals an ally for only 30% of her max HP. But you can get a shield for the surplus heal. It's kind of cool. Continuous healing, but again, it's the weaker one. And then she does a shield equal to 10% of the target's HP on all allies. So that's kind of like all right, but not great is how I feel. But if you get her right off the bat, she's okay as a support. I don't know, I rate her like a 7 out of 10 maybe. How do you feel?
Yeah, no, she's your standard jack of all trades, master of none, speed aura, heals, shield, decrease attack. She kind of covers a bunch of different bases, but isn't amazing at anything. So yeah, I mean, I definitely rate her as a very good rare. She's also Spirit Affinity, which is rare. So yeah, definitely a good rare.
And then the one other I wanted to mention was Templar. I've got this guy every time I played through the campaign. I ended up using him on the majority of the counts. He's kind of cool. His damage is based upon defense, right? He only does decreased speed on his basic, which is kind of meh. But he does 4 times at random. Each has a chance of provoking, and then he places a block damage on himself, and the damage is in proportion of the defense. So that's kind of nice. And then whenever he gets debuffed, he attacks with his basic attack too. So it's kind of like a counterattack in a way. And then he gets ally resistant arena. So it's okay, not great. He's an honorable mention. All right, so we're going to move right along to the Barbarians. Okay, so there's a few that mentioned in the Barbarians, starting with Hill Nomad. If you check with her basics, she attacks one enemy, 50% chance of placing a decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. So it's like a worse Bog Walker a little bit, but it is what it is. And then the second move here, continuous heal buff on a ally for 2 turns, so you can kind of pick where you want that to go, and then places a veil buff on ally and an attack up buff and a shield buff on this champion equal for 20% of their max HP for 2 turns. And as Brad pointed out, she is very attractive in the profile picture as well. I also think Sentinel is quite attractive. I think he did a good job with the blurred effect in the background. But moving on to War Maiden.
Mask.
Yeah, no, it looks quite good. I would wear that mask. I wonder if I can get someone to make that for me. So why you like War Maiden? Why don't you walk me through War Maiden?
Yeah, no, War Maiden is really famous because of her poisoning on A1 and then her AoE 100% guarantee, big version of decreased defense. That's kind of the two things that she's known for. Very, very popular, even in like late game dungeons, and especially, like early to mid game arena, because she can both be a nuker and a debuffer, and she's force, where most of the arena teams you're going to face in the early to mid game are going to be magic heavy. So she kind of covers a bunch of bases. She's one of the better rares in the game that you can build as like a newer player.
Absolutely. So I actually didn't realize that she had this move. Like, this is a good move. Yeah, that's a good move.
Yeah, it's one of the better abilities for a rare on a 3-turn cooldown.
It's very, very good. All right. So moving on to the next character here, we have Stu Gaming. And if we check out Stu, he has a triple hit on basic and has a 25% chance of placing a freeze debuff, which is pretty good. Triple hit for a blue, not bad. And then a 2-hit. And each hit has a 100% chance when booked, 90% chance when booked, of stealing a buff from the target, which is pretty good. That's only 3-turn cooldown. Then he fills the turn meter of all allies by 25% and increases their crit rate. So Stu Gaming's not bad for kind of an offensive rare, huh?
Yeah, no, he's typically mainly used for the like magic keep. It's very tough for newer players to deal with that shield, and a lot of them don't know that it actually counts as a buff. So you can steal the shield from the magic keep boss, and it's kind of hilarious when you see him steal this, 500,000 HP shield, and he has just this massive white HP bar.
All right, so Anointed. All right, so that's going to cover the Barbarians, and we are moving on to the Orgy tribes. And
well, there you go.
On to the rares here. Who do you believe out of these guys, besides obviously Belor is the one everyone's going to think here, but what do you think about the new Ogre and Jailer out of curiosity?
Ogre and Jailer, if I remember right, I have him rated as like an average rare. I didn't see anything super amazing with him. Obviously, the calling card is Bellower. Similar to War Maiden, he's one of the best rares in the game you can get. He debuffs and does a bunch of damage, so a bunch of AoE. So he's the one to go over. Rocktooth has some utility in terms of placing heal reduction. He's really good for the Spirit Boss. He also counters the affinity of the Spirit Keep. So, that's kind of the ones to go over. I mean, I guess you could do Fortress Goon and Rocktooth as well, but after that, it gets pretty sparse. In terms of the
we'll probably cut it there, probably. I think these guys are maybe, we'll let them out there. And then going in the Lizard, here's your favorite character. You got your Muckstalker,
that's right.
Boy.
Yep. Yeah, he kind of became a meme on my channel because there was one day where I summoned like 14 of him out of like 40 shards. I just kept getting him. But so what's the best Lizardman rare? Probably Haruspex or Bogwalker. Haruspex is one of the newer ones that are void. The best non-void is probably Bogwalker. He can slot in to a lot of early to mid-game decreased attack clan boss squads. And he has another ability. His A2 is pretty good. It's going to increase defense for your whole team. So yeah, he's a pretty solid rare.
Those are good options. Also, how I noticed the other day? This character here, I pulled this on my free to play, right? Hurler.
Yeah.
If you look at this move, look at this. Isn't that kind of interesting for a rare? Just read the move.
Attacks one enemy, puts the target's skills on cooldown.
Doesn't that seem kind of like a legendary character's move? It literally just resets all of their skills. Like, isn't that kind of like good?
Yeah, I could see that being very good for like the arena, because a lot of teams are built around like one nuker, and if you go and
like people
put
use
all their
Blood
skills
Gorged,
yeah,
this that's actually kind of good. He has decent base speed. It's 96, so he's not terribly slow. I actually pulled this on the free to play, and so I think I'm going to use this guy in the free to play arena.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see him putting some work in like bronze and silver. I could see that.
Kind of funny, huh? And then this, this is just removes a buff, throws his turn meter, and then this one has each hit has a chance to ignore defense by 50%. So he's kind of like meh, but I wanted to point that out because I thought that was just kind of a funny move. I've never seen that puts target skill on cooldown like that, just on a rare. But yeah, they have some decent ones. Like you're saying, Bogwalker's pretty good. I've pulled all the other ones. I've never really had any use for them. This guy, you're right, Haruspex, he's a void. We're not supposed to be talking about voids, but this is nuts. Here, he's got 2.5% poison. It's a double hit. Fills turn meter of allies. I love when you can put that on multiple people and just everyone starts going fast, and then revives dead ally and fills their turn meter again, which is kind of nice to have people with the res. This move's kind of whatever. But the This one and this one make me like him. These two anyway. Res is good.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a really good rare, and being void is always amazing for a rare.
Okay, we're chewing through these. We're on to the Skinwalkers. They don't have too many rares. We got Greybeard, we got Bloodpainter, we got Narrowhorn, Channeler, Grappler, and Bloodhorn. What do you think of these guys?
The Skinwalkers really don't have anything to write home about. One of the least fleshed out, just factions in the game. Their best one is probably Bloodpainter.
Yeah.
Channeler can be okay. I'd say Bloodpainter and Channeler are like the two usable ones, and after that, Skink. I've seen some people use him for one of the dungeons, but
yeah, so not so hot. Maybe Bloodpainter if you really need a poisoner.
Wait, is Skink? No, I'm thinking
Skink's
of Skink is a
Lizardman.
Lizardman.
Skink's
yeah,
Lizardman.
that's right. That's the last one. Yep.
So
forgive
we're on
me
the
there.
same page there. No, I feel you. And this one here, Bloodpainter, he's got to be the only one. Yeah, even then. Okay, well, we can get through that one quickly anyway. On to the
That's
orcs.
right.
So we got Death Chandler, Chopper, Gaelic, Spike. I mean, Gaelic's probably the first one to mention here, right? I mean, he's a Pokemon starter.
Yeah. Yep, Gaelic, he is the worst starter, so he gets a horrible rap, but he actually hits pretty hard with his main ability, with his Hellraiser. So he's a decent rare. He's just not godly. He's not as good as the other starters in terms of being a rare. And then the other one would probably be Veteran, but Veteran's a void, so.
True. So I want to mention Ironclad, okay?
Yeah.
Because, so there's the meme of the Ironclad. Now, on my main account, I have a 6-star maxed out Ironclad because I'm trying to do the meme, but I keep forgetting about it, okay? But every time I come back and see this, I'm like, oh, man. He has high speed, so you can reset the cooldown on this. But every time you heal him with surplus heal, he does like this big boom AoE health grenade, basically, to 50% of the amount you heal him. So if you put someone like Sethalia, who heals for like 70k or something, on him, yeah, you get the idea. So anyway.
Yeah, no, and he does... the only thing about him, I wish he was a defense champion, but I guess he doesn't really do any damage anyway. But I wish that ability scaled with defense. I'm going to guess it scales with attack. It doesn't say, but his A1 is based off HP and attack. So that ability should scale with defense because he would synergize really well with stacking low HP and high defense so that you're always getting surplus heal. But his aura and his passive don't really synergize with that, so you'll have to let me. That's why I never really went down the route of building him. But I hope you waste the time so I don't have to, and then you can let me know.
Well, I've already wasted the resources. Now I just have to waste the time, so that'll be ahead of us. Okay, so we're on the Demon Spawn. We're doing good. We're on the last row here. All right, so Diabloist right off the bat's probably the first one that's decent, right?
Fellhound is one of the more popular ones, but obviously a void. So if you're talking about, non-void, I would say, Diabolist and Marquise. Marquise is actually surprisingly decent, but again, he's that's Marquez.
Oh, Marquise.
Yeah, Marquise is a void. Sorry, I keep forgetting that we're not talking about the voids or your.
Oh yeah, he's got the counter, but he's got the counter attack
Yep.
and the heal, and he's got this. Yeah, that's not bad. I didn't realize he wasn't not that bad. I think I had one of him. I wonder. Now I'm wondering, did I crunch him? Do I have one of these guys? I must have crunched him, or he's in my.
Are you on your F2P?
I'm on my free to play. Yeah, right here. I have. Look at this. I have a Fellhound, and I have a Ragemonger. Can you believe it?
There you go.
Okay, and you ready for this? And there's an Apothecary.
Oh wow!
And you ready for this? There's a Code Heart. And you ready for this?
I'm gonna have to bring you on my channel for an account review here.
Another Apothecary, and a Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's insane that you have a Santa.
Right.
Neither one of us have one in our main.
Yeah, I know. I got it. It made me quite angry. Okay, so we're talking about. Yeah, you're right. So these two voids, and then Diabloist. That's about it.
Yeah, Diabolist is farmable from the campaign. I believe stage 12 of the campaign, and she's kind of your intro to turn meter manipulation. So definitely pretty good for early to mid game arena. If you don't have like an Apothecary or something.
And Hellfang has like a weaken, like the stronger weaken, and he has this move, which is pretty cool, which is a 50% chance of placing freeze. But you have to have Hound Spawn on the team. So if you happen to have like the two of them,
And build the two dog brethren.
Yeah, the ignore defense and block damage buffs if they have free. The young Wombo combo, man, that's there. All right. So
I've seen people use that like in bronze. I remember when I was a new player.
So the undead fittingly have like the most rares. You know,
Yep.
they're kind of swarming up here. So
Yep.
I've seen
And
people use Banshee because she has an attack all on basic.
Yeah, she hits very soft. Like she hits softer than Bellower, and Bellower takes insane gear to hit hard. So Banshee's really tough. She kind of hits similar to Nazana. Nazana, yeah, she has a bunch of AoE, but she hits like a swimming pool noodle. And Banshee's kind of the same, just hits very soft. I would say in terms of the undead, the rares you're looking at are Grinner and Seducer.
So Grinner, you're going to stay for the revive then?
Yeah, Grinner is kind of like fills a few different roles of. I think he's the best non-void rare in the undead.
So then we'll walk through them. Attacks an enemy, has a chance of placing an increased attack buff on all allies. So that's pretty good. And then you have attack all allies with a chance of removing a buff from each target. It's pretty good as well. And then he revives an ally. So he's just a pretty good all-around support. I can see it. He hones the banner. He looks like he's cheering on his crew. I get it. He fits in well there.
AoE buff removal is insanity on a 3-turn cooldown, and you can get that to a 50% chance. So yeah, he's Force, which people struggle with Force affinity when they're new players. So yeah, Grinner is probably the best one. Wretch, you got pulled up there. He's a pretty good one for the early to mid game clan boss with the HP burn.
He is also, you know where Wretch is from? He's a fighter from what is it? Ultimate Combat for the Xbox. For the Xbox, the fighting game, Killer Instinct. He's from Killer Instinct.
I have no idea, but I'll take your word for it.
I'm telling you, dude. Someone out there is gonna know it. This guy right here, they straight copied him from Killer Instinct because he's one of the guys you can play and fight as. He looks.
I feel like he looks like a lot of. He looks like one of the like trash mobs you would kill in Act 1 of Diablo 2, or like.
I'm sorry, but this is the only time there's ever been a skeleton with a sword and shield. There's
yeah.
But shout out to my boy Reds because he was my HP burn back in the day.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, on the Dark Elves who have almost as many. Obviously, Kel, Mystican, who steals the buffs. We got a nerfed Bower. Then we have Spirit Host, who's good for the block debuffs and everything. Cold Heart obviously is a void, but it's good. They have a lot of voids. I'm just now realizing they have 6 void rares.
Yeah. Yeah, the Dark Elves are similar to the High Elves in terms of having a lot of really good rares. Cold Heart Kale.
Yeah, look at the
Spirit
quality
Host,
here. These are all quality rares. I mean, Paragon, even Retainer, Painkeeper.
Even Judge can be decent if you pull him early enough. He's got a 3-turn AoE.
Yeah. Pretty interesting, man. It's not bad at all.
Yep. No, the Dark Elves might be the best. If not, it's the High Elves in terms of rare quality.
Okay, so Dark Elves, the answer for there is instead of us all saying it, if you just pull any Dark Elf rare, just look at them because the chances they're probably pretty good.
Yeah, fair enough.
Night Revenant.
Night Revenant. Let me see what we got here.
I feel like Night Revenant have high quality legendaries. We got Tomb Lord, Solus, and Hegemon all in the same lineup. But we're talking about rares.
I guess the famous one is Executioner, because he was like super OP back in the early days of Raid. Right. They quickly nerfed him.
Yep. Everyone used this guy. He was go down the line for a campaign. Everyone used this guy for campaign. I remember joining the game, everyone's like, if you don't build Executioner, you are the stupidest person in the world, was basically the word around the street. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, back when you and me started, it was just, he was like a rock star. He was like the Beatles. It was like Executioner, every thread, people's posting their Executioners, and then they quickly nerfed him.
So what do you think about Thurgoist and the remainder of these people then? Anyone else on this list that you like then?
Oh man, besides Executioner, it would honestly probably be Daywalker. I
kind of like this guy too. Let me make a case for my boy Acolyte here. Okay. Basic attack fills his turn meter by 25%. No condition, just happens. Okay. Second move here. Attacks an enemy. Has a 100% chance win book to decrease the target's turn meter by 50%. It's pretty good too, right? And then that's like a Tyrell move. And then you look here. Removes all debuffs on all allies.
Yes, but it's a 4-turn cooldown and it does nothing else. So, yeah, it's got utility, but I wouldn't say it's like a good ability.
Okay, let me make another case for him. He looks really good. I mean, he's
he
one of
does
the
look
better.
cool.
I mean, is this not what Tomb Lords should have looked like?
Yeah, I mean, but like Tomb Lord looks very similar to him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they made him the boring one.
Yeah, I think they're literally like reskins of each other.
Yeah, you would think that this would be the base one. I mean, look at his weapon. Look at his armor. Okay, now go look at the rare one. What happened?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's got a little bit more color, a little bit more.
Even the
what's
weapon
the word I'm
has
looking
more
for? Contrast.
detail. Yeah, he's got more texture. Even like they divide.
Yep.
I don't understand. Anyway, off topic. So, what's the consensus on the rares for the Night Revenant? Then, give me the top 3 in your opinion.
Executioner, Daywalker, and Arcanist.
Okay. Arcanist places a sleep buff, continuous heal on everyone, and attack up and crit up. Very good, solid all-around support, defense in the arena. Okay, I get it. And she has pretty rocking hair. Looks like a Twitch streamer. All right, on to Dwarves. Now, the Dwarf rares are kind of hit or miss. I feel like some of them are good, some of them are really bad.
Yeah, I guess it would be Bulwark, Perforator, and Grumbler. If you're asking for my top 3, Bulwark is famous because he's a debuff extender who's a rare that you can actually get. And then probably Perforator, and then probably Grumbler.
So Bulwark, I'll show everyone here. Bulwark, it's basically this move here extends the duration whenever he gets hit, 30% chance, HP burn, attack with a weaken. That's just good all the way around. Especially in Clan Boss. Perforator, poison, 5% on basic. Attacks enemy, ignores defense, extra turn if you kill someone. Chance of placing fear on the target when he inflicts with a critical. Okay. And then we got Grumbler. Attacks enemy, places buff on him for 10 HP of his max HP. Ching bada bing. Attacks enemy, healing reduction. Ching bada bing. And then this move's pretty good. Ally protection and increased defense. Kind of like I don't know, kind of like a little mix of like a Marther and Skullcrusher move or something.
And he's based on HP and defense.
Yeah, you're right. He is based on both of those. So that's very nice. And he has high base HP too at 19k. Yep. So all around very solid character.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And that is going to wrap it up, boys. Those are all of the rares. We did it. We went through it. Congratulations. We did it.
We did it. It was a difficult task, but we made it happen.
All right, everybody. So with the ending closing thoughts, it is go subscribe to my brother, Chosen Bread, a.k.a. Chofly Mobile. Go subscribe.
Well, thanks for having me. It was fun.
You are welcome. Thanks for being on. We hope this was somewhat helpful / entertaining or whatever it was. We love you, and bye-bye.
Yeah. See ya.